Greetings to our viewers. Today we have with us Prateek sir, who's the assistant professor at the Department of Political Science, College of Vocational Studies, University of Delhi. Thank you for giving us your time today, sir. Sir has been an integral part of the organizing team for the National Symposium on Artificial Intelligence, and he has agreed to give us his time and allowed us to ask him some questions. So let's start. Firstly, sir, I'd like to ask you, do you believe that AI risks reducing human subjects to only data points, and how can we actually avoid this sort of a problem?
So, thank you, the entire team that you have brought me here to the cameras, and I think that people would be watching us after some time once it's recorded. You have put a very loaded question that whether AI actually puts us at some risk. So this entire thing depends on the perspective of ours about the AI, the technology. So it's not that the human has been exposed to this idea of technology very recently. It was something that has been with us for a long period of time. It's just that we have been progressing in advanced form nowadays. So this entire thing, that whether it will subject us to become a data object or it will create threat to our relevance, will entirely depend on our own interaction with this entire evolution of AI. So it depends on how do you participate in this entire journey. If you participate in this journey as a receiver, obviously it will create a threat to you. If you participate in this journey as a creator, obviously you can be a part of the journey itself. So I don't believe that AI can risk you to become just look like data. So even if we think about data, even if you go on to think about data, let's suppose that you are asking me a right question, that it happens someday that AI actually makes us to look like datas. We have been made to look like numbers. So even if we become like numbers or data, isn't it that there are data, there are qualitative data, there are more qualitative data? So how do you differentiate between a data and a qualitative data? So a qualitative data would be that data which will be more substantial, which would be more substantial to your experiments or your research, right? So we just need to be that qualitative group of people so that we don't become just data. Even if we become data, we remain qualitative data. So at the end of the day, everything comes back to your efforts, your perspective, your participation in this entire evolution. Because I would take a moment to share my observation regarding this, that it's not that this is the end of evolution, that AI is something which will be the end of evolution. There are a lot of things to come. How is it that you expect us to get vanished with the AI? We will be here. Our existence will be here, and we will be the one who will move beyond AI. So it's not that AI is going to replace us. Rather, we will replace AI with the help of AI to look to see something which is still there in the future, which is still waiting for us to reach there. Oh, there's no threat to the humanity as such. Yeah.
Sure, we can become data points, but the lived experience still matters in that sort of sense. Moving on, so how can interdisciplinary collaborations between computer science and social science can be made more effective?
Yeah, this is a very important question. Important question in the sense that it's been long that we have been dealing in a society that is more in its orientation towards positivity, scientificity, and objectivity. Though I have a complete agreement over all these things, like why scientificity matters, why positivity matters, why we really need to have objectivity in our approach, and all these things have been the backbone of this AI thing as well. But now, as you can see, that as we talk of this generative AI, as we talk of customized technologies, the AI or the technological domain itself has been realizing this thing, that they need to learn from us people also. So there is a lot of question these days for this entire thing which is called as subjectivity or contextuality or the relevance. So you cannot go on to simply import a technology that has been made with the experiences of the Europe and that which India can imbibe upon. This is not going to function anymore. This is not going to be of any utility these days. So what do you mean when you object to this type of thing? You actually mean that the technology also needs to be sensitive to you. The technology needs to be subjective. And when we talk of this subjectivity, there comes the importance of social sciences. So this interdisciplinary things would actually make your technology look like more sensible, more emotional, more curated, so that it becomes relevant to everybody who has been a participant of this technology thing, right? So this interdisciplinary approach would actually advance a technological future, which would be more acceptable, which would be more inclusive, and where everybody can have a future, and people would not get threatened by these type of questions that whether this technology is going to create an existential crisis for us people. So definitely interdisciplinary research, social sciences, psychology, sociology, anthropology will have to be at par with the science, will have to be at par with the technological research, and we'll have to curate a technology which is sensitive, which is efficient, which is everything for us people. Yeah, a more holistic
approach to it. Lastly, sir, from as you're a political science teacher, I'd like to know, how do you think that AI might transform the practice of policy making and governance traditionally studied in the subject of political science?
Yeah, again, it's a very good question. I am really surprised that you people have been coming up with these interesting questions. I thought that we would only discuss these questions in the seminar, but you have already discussed. That means that we have to discuss something else in the seminar. Anyways, this is again a good question. Good question in the sense that as we are talking here, as we have been sitting here, everything we have been doing is under the guise of what? Democracy. So democracy is a perceived reality as well. Democracy is something which we should always be conscious about. We should be conscious about in the sense that if we are talking about technology, if we are talking about AI, if we are talking about advancing in the process, advancing in the scientific evolution, obviously we will also have to be conscious enough that how this is going to add value to the idea of democracy. And as we talk of democracy comes to you through policies. Obviously, the government approaches you, the government reaches you, or the democracy that you can feel around is something which is being translated to you through policies. So these technology will have to be very important for these policies at the end of the day. Now there is a big question that how it will change the way how policies are made. So what you'll see is that earlier the policies used to be very mechanical in the sense that they'll have to rely a lot on the experiences of the people. However, since a lot of mechanical processes were involved, a lot of human interface were involved, there were always chances that the policy might not be that inclusive. So there was this huge problem of policy myopia in the sense that you are not getting aware exactly about who are the one whom you are making the policy for. But the technology which can actually make you to get real-time appraisal, that you can get real-time information about things, you can get extremely big data, you can get a democratic set of data which is very representative, unbiased, etc. You can come up with like 100 number of filters to reach to the exact population that you have been trying to make a policy for. So all these things will actually make your policy look more democratic. So I truly believe that technology is somewhere going to add a lot of value to this idea of policy making and to the larger idea of democracy as such.
Sure, sir. That has been really insightful for all of us, and I'm sure our viewers would also love it. Thank you for giving us your time today.
Okay. All the very best. And we are all approaching towards the symposium. And I would request everybody who will be seeing this video to please be present at the symposium. It will be a great juncture.
It will be held on 8th and 9th of October 2025 at the India Habitat Center. Thank you.
Okay.